race, it says that all runners run, but only one gets the prize.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, we're supposed to run in such a way as to get the prize. But verse 25 says that everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. The 26th verse says, therefore I do not run like someone running aimlessly. Now, the Apostle Paul is talking here. He says, I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. In the 27th verse, he says, no, I strike a blow to my body and make it a slave so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize.
Yes, yes.
Now, hear this. What is he saying? I hear some truth coming around the corner. This is the Apostle Paul saying that, he says that the aim is to win the prize. Okay. He goes on to say that everyone who competes in the race has strict training. And then they do it because they want to obtain a crown. But guess what? It will not be forever.
All right.
That crown is temporary. It won't last. And then he goes on to say that in the race of life, this is what he's saying. I'm not going to run it in any kind of way, or just do any kind of thing. I'm going to run it with a goal in mind.
Yes, 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 yes.
He said, I understand that my flesh battles against me. And so we have to fight against this flesh in the race of life. So I must keep my body, hear this, under subjection to the Spirit of God. And how do we do that? Through fasting and praying. This will help in this area. He says, I strike a blow to my body. What is he saying? Paul wants us to know, beloved listener and hearer, that our flesh is not to be in control over the Spirit of God.
That's right. That's right.
It must be a slave to the Spirit and not a slave to the sinful flesh. That's right.
Yes, yes. Going back to where you started at, Songs 63, 1 and 2, and I'm a read it again. O God, thou art my God. Early will I seek thee. My soul thirsted for thee. My flesh longed for thee in the dry and thirsty land where no water is. David was lacking the basic need to stay alive. David in the Judah's wilderness, expresses an intense, desperate longing for God's presence, comparing it to thirst in a dry land.
Wow.
Being thirsty where there is no water and where there's heat, where everything is dry, where your body is probably feeling like it's going into sickness, weakness, and everything else. David is longing. We know that the wilderness can be a dry place with no real resource to survive and danger all around. It must have been an intense place.
Yes.
While moments of beauty surrounds him. Because if you think about, in the desert, where, like, as a representation of what we talked about with Jesus when he was in the wilderness, when he was sent to the wilderness. But can you imagine where there's a place of it almost seemed like desolation,
yeah,
but there's still some things there that can catch your eye, that can be also beautiful. Like in the desert, there's sand everywhere, but sand can be beautiful. You see cactus and you see wild animals. There are dangers, but they also can be beautiful to look upon.
That's true.
So in that desert wild place where it's nothing there, there's still something to observe,
to catch your attention.
Yeah, to catch your attention.
You still got to have a passion for God.
Yeah, and you still have to not only, even though those things are there, you can feel like you're all by yourself.
Yes.
It can feel isolated.
That's right.
You can feel. So can you imagine your mind seeing things and around you, but you still isolate? Cause I said not too long ago that you can be around a whole lot of people and still be isolated in your mind, and still where it feel like you even though you're surrounded by people, you all by yourself.
Yes.
And when you feel that way, you have to seek God for God to fulfill that spot
Yes,
that
yes.
is empty and that is isolated in your own mind.
He'll give you the guidance that
Yeah,
you need.
yes, yes.
You know, the flesh is said weak and the spirit is always willing. And I really like that because Matthew 26:40 says, then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping, talking about Jesus. He says, couldn't you men keep a watch for me for 1 hour? He asked Peter, he said, watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. You see, the spirit, he said, is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Yes, and you know, David wrote this song that we talked about earlier in 63. He wrote this song while fleeing for his life and fleeing from the enemies, surrounded by enemies.
Wow.
Fleeing for his life, you know, and trying to find consolation in God himself, because he couldn't find consolation nowhere else. When you desire the anointing of God, you cannot look at the things around you. You cannot look at your enemy. You cannot look at people. You cannot look at what other people are doing, what other people are saying. You really got to hone in on God himself. Seek his face, seek his desire, seek his will. Because when you start seeking his will, I'm telling you, God will show up in a way that he will fulfill that dry, empty space that you are searching for. The wilderness area that they call wilderness. You know, wilderness in definition is an uncultivated, uninhabited, and unhospitable region. So most people see it as there's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
But when there is nothing there, God is always present. He's omnipresent. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. And you know, it feels like sometime when you're in a dry place that there is no one to call on. There's no one to hear you. Is sometimes even when you can be, a lot of people can be around you and you can still feel like you're in a dry place. But you know, God is there for you to call on. That's when you can have a passion for the Lord, to know that when I call, he will answer. The Bible tells us that when you call, he will answer.
Yes.
And he also knows what you stand in need of before you ask.
Your presence, oh, let the fresh fire fall. Let your love be our essence. Fresh fire, Holy Spirit, flow from your throne. Streams of flame and mercies. We know we're not alone, for you are God alone, our refuge and our strength. With each breath we take, we'll seek and go the length. Pour out your anointing,
Lord, on us today.
let the chains of oppression find no place to stay.
Every yoke is destroyed when the holy flames arise.
In the warmth of your glory, we feel the tides unwind.
Fresh fire in the season, Lord.